Welcome everyone to Nuke the Fridge. This is Lewis, and getting ready for the Superman movie, the James Gunn film. I'm watching a lot of Superman stuff from the past, and I rewatched Superman Returns. Okay, Superman Returns, highly controversial film. Brandon Ruth is Superman. Kevin Spacey is Lex Luthor, and look, when this movie first came out, I was really excited about it because it was a continuation of the Christopher Reeves film, it seemed like. But ultimately, I was disappointed. But as time passed, as time has gone on, and since I rewatched it yesterday, you know what? It's not a bad movie. And I think a lot of people were hard on it, including me. A lot of people have come around to say, you know what? This movie's not that bad. Brandon Routh is pretty damn good in it. But, you know, as a side note, I always say this. Has there really been a bad Superman actor? Not really. Bad scripts, yeah. And this has a lot of bad to it. It's not perfect. Look, Brandon Routh is great in this thing as Superman. And Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor is awesome. So you got a really good villain played by an incredible actor. And you got a really good guy played by a very good actor. Why is this mixed? It's more of a chick flick, if you ask me. So Superman Returns. It's a superhero film that we were waiting for. I believe it came out a little bit after Batman Begins. So everyone's like, is Brandon Routh gonna face off with Christian Bale's Batman? People always ask that question. Obviously, it didn't happen that way. Also, Smallville was in full effect. A lot of people love Smallville. They wanted to see Tom Welling as Superman and stuff. So it was also the dawn of the MCU. So Warner Brothers wanted to get their big guys in there, and they brought in Bryan Singer, who came out with the first X-Men 1 and 2. He was very influenced by Richard Donner, who directed the 1978 films. And here again, the standouts. I think Kevin Spacey is pretty damn good in this film. I think the cinematography is very good. The music is mid, considering they were able to use John Williams' score, but I still feel like it just didn't hit right. It's that the way that the movie's shot, it's a very well shot film, in my opinion, now that I look at it. And of course, Brandon Routh's performance was just great. Design, again, I touched upon the cinematography. I don't know if you think that's the design, but Lex Luthor looked great. Like his outfit, if you look at it, looked great. Superman's is questionable. That S is just way too small. He looks weird, like his face looks weird, and what's really bad and never aged well were the blue contacts. Bryan Singer should have just left his eyes brown. I mean, is it set in stone? Superman has to have blue eyes, especially if they look super fake. It's very distracting. Story is a repetition of Superman 1, kind of, where it's a real estate scheme by Lex Luthor, and also it's supposed to be a continuation of part 2, and that's very strange to me because Lex Luthor doesn't remember being at the Fortress of Solitude. Superman's suit is different, and Superman promised never to leave. Again, he promised the president, I'm never going to disappear again. And here he is in the beginning of the film, disappearing for 5 years. The peeping Tom Superman bothers me, you know? Anyways, is this movie worth getting? If you're a Superman fan, yeah, of course it is. It is. Again, the music was good. Sound is good. There's actually second half has some action scenes that are pretty fun. Again, I can't get over Superman's eyes. They're just really bad. Now, is this a weakness in the movie? I feel like it was a chick flick more than an action flick, which is fine. It had a lot of heart. I felt the heart in there, like Superman's struggle with having to save everyone. I thought that was a good introduction in there. And I think Man of Steel needed a little bit of that. But then again, Superman Returns needed what Man of Steel had, which was the action and stuff. So, I mean, you know, if I want to compare it to other Supermans, I do like the way Henry Cavill appears to be Superman in a poster. I think he's a better looking Superman than Brandon Routh in a way, but it's that suit is not good and the blue eyes is not good and stuff. But there is a lot of Christopher Reeves in Brandon Routh and stuff. At least he tries to. So look, what's my final verdict on this film? Man, I don't know. I don't know, man, because it's hard to watch because it's slow, but it has some really good parts, man. Some really emotional parts. It is Superman. It's got the score by John Williams. Would I recommend it? Of course I would recommend it, especially if you're a Superman fan. And after watching it yesterday again, I kind of liked the movie, and I was like, man, this is kind of good. And I found myself kind of like, oh, that part's good. This part's good. But then it gets to the weird real estate scheme, and a lot of it, the plot is very plotting. Like there's a lot of setups to action sequences. Like, you'll know, some people will get what I'm saying. The setup is so long before an action sequence, and it's redundant. Like the plane scene, for example, you know, which is like the epicenter of the film. It like, there's a setup, like the lady explaining how planes work and whatnot. It's like, oh my God, do we really need this just to see Superman rescue people on a plane? And it does that over and over again. At the end of the film, Richard, Lois Lane's boyfriend or husband, or who knows what it is, he's trying to use his plane, and it falls into the screen. Like it looks like it's going down, and you think, oh my God, they all fell and died. And then it comes back up into the screen, you know, you cheer. But then they do the exact same scene, like literally minutes later, with Lex Luthor and his Parker Posey's character. So there's just a lot of setup and redundancy, almost like there was no action there. So I would say, look, it may seem like I have negatives to say, but it's just that I want more out of my Superman movies. But definitely, this movie is not as bad as some people say it was, and it's probably not as bad as people remember it is. Special note, Brandon Routh did get his Superman moment in Crisis on Infinite Earth in a Flash episode. So that was great to see him there. And you know what? He was a good Superman. That's all I'm saying. He was a good Superman. All right. It's just, film had a lot of weird choices in there. And I think Bryan Singer could have done better. I don't know if the studio got involved or what. Anyway, Superman Returns. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Thank you.